Hello, hello. Today we're going to be talking about how to choose a fiber that is right for you and your project. So whether you're an advanced, intermediate, or even a beginner, you will be able to walk away with more understanding about different properties of yarns and which is best for you. I'm going to be mostly focusing on this from a crochet and knitting standpoint, but I will briefly give sources about other fiber arts at the end. If you're a complete beginner, you might be wondering, Zoe, why do you keep saying fiber? I thought we were using yarn here. And you're right. Yarns and fabric, for that matter, are made up of fiber, and that determines what kind of yarn it is. The two main categories are going to be natural and synthetic. So, what does that mean? Good question. By Marion Millhouse, natural fibers are derived from a plant or animal source. This means that while they may need process to become the yarn that we use, they come from the earth and they are naturally occurring. Think of cotton, wool, silk. Those are all natural fibers. Natural fibers occur in nature. Think of synthetic fibers as the opposite. Once again, referencing our girl Meriden Millhouse, synthetic fibers are man-made and they're engineered to have particular quality. Most common synthetic fabrics are going to be rayon, acrylic, spandex, polyester, and nylon. These fibers do not occur naturally. Remember that. And they are all made of some sort of plastic. It's important not to get caught up in the fiber snobbery about natural versus synthetic. Whatever works best for you is the best fiber for you. There is no evil demon fiber that is automatically the worst in the world. Natural and synthetic fibers both have their pros and cons, which we'll discuss next. All right, before we jump into finding the best yarn for your project, we need to go through some pros and cons to naturals and synthetic. This section will also include a little bit of background about how these fibers are made and any potential ethical or environmental concerns if that's of interest to you. Let's start with our natural fibers. We're going back to our girl Meriden and staying with her for a good bit of this section if you want to read along for reference. Natural fibers are biodegradable, sustainability win, breathable, have good insulation, and they can be hypoallergenic. What does that mean? Well, this means that natural fibers will break down over time, returning to the earth. Cotton and linen are known for their breathability. Think of your favorite cotton t-shirt. It's the best to wear in the summer because it keeps you cool. And on the flip side, fibers like wool are super insulated, making you stay warm even if you get wet. And they are great for cozy sweaters and blankets. Hypoallergenic is a bit of a tricky one. Silk and bamboo have hypoallergenic properties, which means you're less likely to get skin irritation. However, cashmere, alpaca, and wool can all cause skin irritation, depending on how they were processed or if they're in a blend. If you have an allergy to bunnies, you might not want to wear cashmere. Synthetic fibers get a lot of hate, especially online. Fiber snobs are quick to tell you that if you are not using wool sourced from the butt of a sheep in the Irish Highlands, then you are not a real fiber artist. Well, they are wrong. Synthetics are great for beginners because of their cheap price, which is probably one of the biggest pros that they have. If you walk into any major craft store, the majority of it is going to be a polyester or acrylic, if not acrylic blend. This means that they are super accessible and great for beginner projects. Some other pros for intermediate and advanced ones, in their cheap price, they have a lot to offer advanced and intermediate fiber artists as well. They're super durable, versatile, they have a low absorbency, and they have great color fastness. What does that mean for you? It means that synthetic fibers are strong. They're going to last with lots of wear. It also means they have a huge range. Think of your favorite actor and double it, because they can be adjusted to do just about anything. That low absorbency makes your pieces less likely to develop mold, mildew, or bacteria growth, which is great for a lot of beginners if they want to work with natural fibers. And that color fastness, that means your piece will stay vibrant and it's less likely to fade over time. This also all means that your synthetic fibers are going to be easier to care for in the long run. Of course, there are cons to both. Natural fibers' biggest con is probably that it comes with a much heavier price tag, especially if you aren't buying a blend, which puts them out of the price range for so many beginners, and honestly, even more advanced fiber artists like myself. According to Gouvian Fibers, natural fibers can be less durable, low density, and absorb moisture easily. That means natural fibers will need more attention as they age. And that might mean washing on cold, hanging to dry, and making sure they're stored in dry places to avoid that mold and mildew. Back to Guvian fibers. Synthetic fibers are not sinless either. They are not biodegradable, and that means that they do contribute to pollution, specifically soil pollution. They can also irritate the skin and are prone to electrostatic charges when rubbed against other materials. This means that if you are extremely concerned about the environment, it might be more worth it to your ethics if you used majority natural fibers. You understand some of the pros and cons of natural and synthetic fibers, we're going to get into picking the best fiber for your project. This means we're diving deeper than just natural and synthetic to picking exactly the right fiber for you. Now, let's hit some reminders from crochet.com. Remember to check the dye lot, which will help you to prevent lots of variation from the same color. Also, check the care instructions, which will tell you how to wash and care for your finished piece. If the care instructions say that you can only spot clean and it will never go through your washing machine, that might be a sign to use a different fabric if that's not what you want. Also check the yardage. This means how much is in the skein. If it's 50 yards or 100 yards, it's good to know how much you're paying per yard and also how many skeins you're going to need per project. Also remember, always round up if you're following a pattern. It's better to have an extra skein than have two less. Now, let's jump in. This visual is from Michigan Fine Yarns and is a great overview of the yarn that is the best fit for you. I'll be leaving this up on the screen while I discuss fibers, but I'll be referencing the Knitting Guild Association for these. First, let's talk animal fibers. Wool is most likely going to be what you've heard of best. And why not? She's that girl. She's great for keeping warm, for everyday garments, but she does require special care and she can felt when agitated, which can make your stitches look less clean. Next up is merino, and this is actually a type of wool, but it is super soft and great for wearing directly on your skin. So if wool irritates your skin a little bit, merino wool is a great substitute for something that is going to be directly on the skin with not a shirt or undershirt in between. It's great for keeping warm, but it might pill and it might take more wear and tear if heavily used. It is extremely warm, but it also drapes well and has a super great soft halo. It's not as elastic as wool, so that's something to consider if you might want to use a blend for a garment that needs a little bit more stretch. Now for some of the fiber it girls. These are our luxury animal fibers. Silk, cashmere, and mohair add softness, halo, or sheen. These are great for accessories, but for something large, you probably need to blend them with another fiber to add that strength and make them easier to care for. Now let's check out our plant fibers. Cotton is that girl. She's in our favorite t-shirts. She's in our favorite pants. She is super breathable and washable. It's easy to care for and great for crisp stitches, but it doesn't have that much elastic, so it's not that great for ripping or stretchy garments, but this can easily be solved by using a blend. Bamboo also have amazing drape, and they are nice and cool to wear during those hot months. Linens soften more as they get washed, and bamboo needs special care to preserve its sheen. And of course, we're not going to be sleeping on synthetics. Acrylics is going to be one of the most common yarns you find when you walk into a craft store. It's easily machine washable and extremely versatile. It holds shape, but it lacks drape. It also holds color, but it's not very warm or cooling. Nylon and polyester add elasticity and strength, which means they're great to blend with other fibers to up the durability and ease of use. Iron is plant derived, but super processed, and that's what lands it into synthetics. It's smooth and it has a wonderful drape that's great for summer garments, but it is weak when wet. Easily pick your fiber from these properties alone, but I figured I would include what projects commonly use what fiber to help out any beginners that are still struggling at this point in the video. Shawls and lace are usually going to be from those luxury fibers. Alpaca, silk, or even a blend will help to give you drape. And other home goods are generally going to be cotton because it can easily absorb liquid and it also survives that frequent use in washing. If you're going to be making a hot pad, a tea cozy, or anything coming in contact with something that is hot, you need to use an all cotton. Any synthetic or acrylic blend is at risk of melting that plastic. Are traditionally going to be a wool or wool blend because they keep you nice and warm and also wick away any sweat you're working up when walking around in the winter, but really any fiber can be used with proper care. I hate to say it, but it's best to follow tradition on this one. These are generally going to be a wool blend, wool for warmth, and moisture wicking blended with nylon to make them more elastic and to last long. High-use garment is going to benefit from a synthetic or a synthetic blend, so it's easily washed and can handle the wear. Plushies, stuffed animals, or any amigurumi are probably going to be best with a full synthetic. This is so that they withstand use, and you can also use that cute fluffy yarn that you've been eyeing. I've primarily focused on garment or crochet and knit pieces, but I just wanted to quickly give a resource for weaving. If you check out Kelly Casanova Weaving Lessons, she has a great page dedicated to fibers for weaving and knows way more than me. All right, that's all I have for you today. Whether you're a beginner or advanced fiber artist, I hope that this video helped you to understand different fiber types and properties. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them below in the comments, and as always, all of my sources will be put into the captions. Have fun crafting!